Hello, beautiful Pisces, or Chinese year rabbits, mutable, beautiful water. I hope all of you are doing amazing. Thank you guys so much for your support and tuning in today. Happy birthday to all you beautiful Pisces out there. We're finally in Pisces season. We get one extra day because of leap year, so I'm super stoked. We're going to be finding out who you're thinking about and why you're thinking about this person, so just take what resonates, of course. Thank you guys so much for all your support. We have the Nine of Swords, Gemini, Chinese year horse. The Nine of Swords obviously is a feeling of worry, anxiety, concern, suspicion, right? So technically, whoever you're thinking about, you are actually kind of suspicious about this person. This person could cause or make a lot of anxiety arise within you. Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely hard for you. You have the Five of Pentacles coming out. Taurus or Chinese year snake. Okay, this person that you're thinking about has definitely caused you some sadness, brokenness, insecurities, trauma, maybe even physical pain. Like, I'm sorry if you guys had to go through that, but abuse, physical abuse, violence, stuff like that. You guys are just trying to heal, and I feel like you are kind of feeling, really, it's like, if in my mind I'm thinking of somebody who is wanting to do something, wanting to heal, but gets terrified of that one person, like the enemy, whatever, knowing they have some kind of power or control or some kind of tendency to overthrow. Okay, that's the feeling. Almost like a little kid, kind of worried about their stepfather or their stepmother or something like that, but like an evil person, just like they're concerned, they're worried, but they don't know how to face it, and kind of feeling alone with it. You could even be feeling alone enough where you just don't want to talk to people about the situation, maybe because all the people you could talk to, the word would just get back to this person and in the first place. Evidently, you guys are very sad and anxious. You have to be courageous. Courage, number 8 out here. You also have 9, 5, and 8. Maybe something about angel number 958. Something specific. But you guys have to find the courage, even through the environment that's not the healthiest, or even the most nutritious for you, right? Like, if you think about it, you look at the flower, you see like the environment and how it grew. There's no water, it's all dry, and it's like, how can something grow there, right? Well, you can, is what it's saying. You have the courage to grow through the situation and protect your own. Like, I'm looking at this flower too, and I see a little baby flower coming out of it, and like a kangaroo pouch. That's the feeling. So like a mama and her child, trying to protect their children, trying to protect your inner child, if it's not an actual child, but really it's like trying to protect both. If you are a mom or a dad and you're trying to protect your children plus your inner child at the same time, you have to be courageous when it comes to that situation. Okay, so 6 of Swords, getting away from a bad situation, getting into calmer waters. 6 of Cups, children, childlike feelings, inner child stuff, right? Past situations that were heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, traumatic, and inferior. I'm kind of getting the inferior energy towards it. Like, it was not necessary for a lot of the things that you had to endure. Like, you could have just understood your lesson with like one thing, but it's like it became so inferior to you. It just kept happening, and at the point you just became aggravated. Like, why would I even allow myself to be put through that much when I could have just learned the situation right off the bat? And why didn't I think about these things before? Why didn't I, and it's almost like something similar to what I was reading for, I think it's Aquarius. I think so. Could be wrong. But it's a feeling of looking back at a relationship and it's like, was I drunk the whole time? Like, what was I thinking? Why did I let all these things surpass me? Like, there were so many red flags and I just like discarded them. Like, what was I doing? Like, where was I at in those moments? Like, really having to really think with a more logical point of view and a more rationalized, emotional, healed view. Okay, and I know it's hard because you may have a rose-colored tint view of the past, and that may be where you're taking that off to see the true placements of what really went wrong and where it went wrong and how. You know, none of this was your fault, though. I'm gonna tell you right now, none of this was your fault ever, and a lot of it you shouldn't have had to endure at all. Actually, like nothing should have happened that did. And I'm very sorry that it was very tragic for you guys in this sense. You do have Scorpio Taurus energy. It's very, very, very challenging, very, very difficult. You may live with anxiety now because of what has taken place in those situations, and not just because of one experience, but because of multiple experiences throughout the same person, relationship with this person. Yeah, it was very unfulfilling. The sun's in the reverse. You were very unhappy. You were feeling very emotional, very sad, very alone, very dark, right? Darkness. Leo's energy, Chinese your monkey. And all you're trying to do is just get your glow, get your shine, get your brightness back, get your, inner light power charge back. There's a lot of healing, there's a lot of accepting, there's a lot of having to forgive too, which is kind of feeling for right now for you with the word forgive. It's hard. It's not the easiest right now for you. I know you'll learn to have it be a little bit easier later, but right now forgiveness is not necessarily the first thing on your list. And acceptance is kind of difficult too, but more than anything, you're just trying to recover. Yeah, you got the Five of Swords. There could be some self-sabotaging behavior that you guys have been, dealing with within self. But I do feel like you guys are trying, you're fighting whatever this is. You're trying to be courageous enough, brave enough. I mean, you did. You fell suit to a situation that was violent, abusive, wrong, manipulative, mentally traumatic, and emotionally, detrimental. It took a lot for you guys to finally have to speak up and do what you need to do, or you guys still haven't gotten to that point yet. My throat chakra is making it really hard for me to talk, and I got that frog in my throat that makes me feel like I want to cry because of all the pain that you guys have definitely been going through, and you still feel it. I feel it. This has not been whatsoever easy, and maybe even trying to put words together for the situation's been a little bit difficult. I'm getting that energy, and I understand that. There's been a lot of times where I've had my emotions come spilling out, and half the words that I say aren't even really organized. They just start going, whatever, and it's not necessarily. It's like the most important factor is to think before you speak, because when you are speaking, of course, in our minds we know what we're trying to say, so we're saying it, but our mouths are catching so much of things that we really didn't need to put in there, and there's a lot of mismatched words and stuff, but in our minds we have the time to think about what we are going to say before we do say it, so we can organize what we are going to say so that we can say it. And that's all authentic. It's all unique from your own individual mindset and how you are going to proceed with what you say. And I feel like this is something you guys have been trying to also endure and learn and obtain knowledge for. But that's the point, is knowing that your mind is very capable of thinking things before you speak them, and it doesn't mean you're going to run out of time. If you didn't even get the time to say something, you know God will help you find the time to say something when you need to say something again, and maybe by that time it will register a lot better. You know what I mean? You have to give everything time, and just really it's hard because yeah, you can live in the moment, but living in the moment with our emotions is kind of a difficulty, because our emotions change consistently all day, and if we're always going off that one emotion for for every hour, we're gonna be looking like a crazy, like, whoa, I can't believe you went from this to this to this to this to this in just like 4 hours. But if we think about things and we can kind of contemplate with ourselves, we give ourselves time and effort and energy, we are able to, recognize what we're trying to say, and we're able to even be proud of ourselves for recognizing what we needed to say and combining it to knowing what we can say. And that gives us more of the power to be proud, to have pride and hold pride for what we had done to put that speech together in our own mind. Instead of coming out with things that are going to be a little bit irrational, or a little bit of this or a little bit of that, we actually have the time to think about how we really feel, how what we are going to say, what we feel is truly going to affect someone else. How can we use words that are going to make it so that they're going to still stay on the same page as me, not run away and not feel intimidated, yet not also feel like they're the ones that are the problem, but wanting to make my point known on how I really feel about the situation. Not even trying to make someone feel like it's all their fault. It's just a sense of like, I want to communicate, this is how what you said made me feel, and it may not have been, what you really meant, but the way that I took it was this, and I want you to understand that, because I feel very alone without you knowing that, or without anybody being able to know that. And I need you to know how I feel about the situation, because I can't just be in a relationship if it's not even going to be a 50-50 situation. It feels like it's just all you were the one that got to say all these things, da 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 da. And I feel like you're learning this and manifesting this for future relationships. Deeper communication, not just communication about like the unknown and mysterious spiritual things, but actual physical, strong, dependable conversations that are going to lead you to a deeper sense of like stability and certainty with the relationship. Okay, and I feel like this is something that you're trying to manifest, or that's probably why you're thinking of this person. Why you're thinking of them is because you want to move on and not be running into a situation just like this. You also want to heal yourself enough to know what you have learned in the past is going to help you grow. So you are now acknowledging a lot of the things and taking your time to manifest the correct thing into your life, and kind of just like trusting in the path, knowing that what comes your way, you do need to deal with it, right? But you don't have to deal with every single thing that comes your way the same way. You can deal with, say you're single, you have people like 3 different people that have interest in you, and say you have certain feelings for all 3, but they're not all the same feelings. They're not supposed to be. And say that they approach you with something, but maybe you're not happy with it. Maybe you feel disrespected with it. You don't have to treat these people in any way that makes them feel like totally comfortable, because if they make you feel some uncomfortability, then that whole conversation became a little uncomfortable. So that's going to make like you're going to stand up for yourself. And then if this person can understand from your point of view of like, okay, I can understand why you became uncomfortable, I was a little bit too assertive, or I was a little intimidating, or I was a little this, or I was a little frustrated, so my voice came off as frustrated, and they can understand and they can try to make it better and improve. Like, an apology isn't just an apology unless there's action behind it. And I feel like that's something you're going to definitely look for and manifest, right? This is something I see could be definitely a potential thing for you. But if somebody were to be like, I don't care if it causes you to feel uncomfortable, and they're like obviously showing unhealed traits of themselves, that's not going to be somebody you want in your life anymore. And I do feel like you will discard them. And it may not be a total Pisces thing to do, but you will discard them. And I feel like that's the benefit of your health, your wealth, your spiritualism, your journey, your life. Okay? You just have to have the courage to do so. It's really all I'm getting on this energy. So there's a lot of things that you're improving on, seeing differently. Messages. God's plan, Drake. They wishing a lot of bad things on me. God is on your side though. Sleeping trouble, insomnia, sleep paralysis, sleepwalking, and sudden wake. That's another thing with the 9 of Swords. There's nightmares, there's night terrors, there's sleep paralysis. You know, there's even chronic fatigue due to that situation, okay? I also have, I am sorry for the way I ran from our connection. It's not something I ever felt before, let alone had to deal with. I keep coming back because our connection and chemistry is withstanding all my fears and doubts from a masculine energy. And if this is you as the feminine energy, say, right? It doesn't matter if you're the feminine or masculine, but this feminine energy is trying to get over this ex from the past, but this masculine is a different type of masculine, but you're not fully healed as the feminine. I mean, you're getting better, and this masculine could be going through a lot of the same process as you as the feminine. And if it's vice versa, then it's vice versa. But it's still the fact, like, if you're the masculine, then you are sorry for the way that you ran from a connection because you got fearful, you got worried, you got concerned, you got feelings of uncomfortability, you didn't know how to approach the situation, you know. And that could be the situation, but it's like the same thing as the masculine energy could be also facing a lot of the same things, fears, anxieties, insecurities, stuff like that, you know. Lots of healing, really. Anyway, much love to you guys. I hope this helped. God bless. We'll see you guys again soon. Have a great rest of your week.